Happy birthday, Philippine Sports Commission. You are now on your 31st year of serving the nation. 3 decades of serving Philippine sports. Your PSC is now a millennial like me, so I'm sure PSC has become more vibrant and energized than ever before, thanks to the longest-serving chairman of this agency, Mr. William Ramirez, and the equally respectable former officials and workforce then and now. In today's episode, we would like to share with you a snapshot of the Philippine Sports Commission. I am standing in front of this administration, a building of the PSC, right at the historic ground of the Rizal Memorial Sports Complex. This was originally called Rizal Memorial Field, which was constructed sometime 1927. Oh, so that means 60 years from now, this Rizal Memorial Sports Complex will celebrate its 100 years of housing and hosting athletic races. So why won't you come and join me as we take a look at the lobby of the Philippine Sports Commission as I introduce to you the 6 different strategic directions of the Commission. Come! We are now here at the lobby of the Philippine Sports Commission, and I will be taking you through the 6 different strategic directions of the Commission. First and foremost, we are starting with global contribution. Second is the institutionalization of the Philippine Sports Institute. We also have sports linkages. And of course, we will never forget about sports accessibility. We have sports awareness. And last but not least is sports governance. So we will take a break for a moment as I invite you to watch this video produced 14 years ago with some adjustments.
In sports, time is always ticking. It is in continuous motion, reflecting on both highlights and future possibilities. It constantly demands attention and practice behind the scenes. This is everyday reality for athletes. This is their constant commitment. This is their drive. And it is our dedication to ensure that they become the best of the best. In sports, the goal is always clear, yet the vision of the Philippine Sports Commission extends far beyond the climax of claiming triumph, moment after moment after moment. It also reaches deep into the essence of nurturing a healthy, disciplined, and principled image for the mainstream men, women, and youth of the country. The Philippine Sports Commission promotes sports on the grassroots level, where its relevance in everyday life takes on a whole new dimension, where people get to appreciate it as a medium of rapport, where the youth experience it as a training opportunity to imbibe the values of leadership, fair play, camaraderie, and more. The Philippine Sports Commission is not just about creating heroes and heroines for the Filipino people. It is about leadership in building a healthy Philippine Republic. Inspired by the need of creating a regulatory and national policy-making body that will set the directions for National Unified Sports Program, the Philippine Sports Commission was created by a joint act of Senate and Congress through the passage of Republic Act No. 6847 on January 24, 1990 under the Aquino administration. The PSC renders 14 defined functions under its mandate, all of which are delimited within the purview of Philippine amateur sports. The objectives of the Commission are to provide leadership, guiding policies, and encourage wide participation in sports in all sectors. The Commission has evolved, whereas before, priority was always invested in elite sports. Today, the PSC has embraced a new paradigm that tags grassroots sports and sports for all as a priority agenda in the succeeding years. This is in observance of Section 6A of Republic Act 6847. Ultimately, the paradigm shift will transform the nation's appreciation of the Philippine Sports Commission, as its presence and programs will soon be felt in the distant communities of our archipelago, reaching out to all, from the men in white collar to the children in the streets, from the aged to the young people, from our indigenous brothers to the differently abled, from the women and young girls to the men of all walks of life. Operations of the PSC is managed by the chairman. He is assisted by one executive director. The Philippine Sports Institute serves as the premier research, education, training, and learning arm in sports in the Philippines. The Institute is the hub where athletic talents and innovation will be nurtured and developed. As an athlete-focused institution, it provides athletes and scholars access to expert coaching, world-leading sports science, and sports medicine services and internationally standard sports facilities. This is where state-of-the-art and scientific training procedures, processes, and practices are applied. The main function of this center is to cater to the medical needs and health maintenance of the athletes. It is vital for the monitoring of their physiological conditioning, evaluation of their scientific modes of training, and when necessary, rehabilitation and therapy of those who get injured. This facility provides high-end strength training equipment fit for developing champions. The promise and future of Philippine sports is a continuing testament, best embodied in the new vision of the Philippine Sports Commission. Side by side, the Philippine Sports Commission shall on the one hand continue its leadership of honing prime athletes who shall carry on the pride and reputation earned by champions who came before them. They shall continue to pursue the aspirations and dreams of our nation, to excel in the demonstration of talents and skills. On the other hand, the Philippine Sports Commission shall equally pursue the dimension of grassroots sports. It shall also focus on the mission of nurturing virtues in the core values of the citizenry, while promoting health and comradeship to all.
It is without doubt that the Filipino athletes are a force to reckon with. All our kids are blessed with talent, and the best among them are blessed with a kind of heart and will that breed champions.
Yeah, sa mga kasama ko sa gobyerno, sa Philippine Sports Commission, the 200-strong regular employee of the Philippine Sports Commission and the 200-strong contractual as well as very few consultant, we can work together and put on top of our mind and heart about the country's unity, the country's direction, and the beauty of the Philippine archipelago. That this is the pearl of the Orient Seas, that in spite of the travails of politics, economic concern, we can be one here and make sports a vehicle for unity, a vehicle for success, a vehicle of a strong Filipino nation.
Thank you, Chairman Ramirez, for your inspiring, warming, yet strong messages delivered 14 years apart. Meantime, to refresh our memory on the great man who spearheaded the Philippine Sports Commission through the years, here is our special segment, Kwentong Sports. Take it away, Commissioner Kiram.
Bago natin iwanan ang buwan ng birthday ng Philippine Sports Commission, buwan ng Enero, ikinalulugod kong samahan ninyo akong balikan ang nakaraan at kilalanin ang mga magigiting na naging pinuno ng Philippine Sports Commission. Alam niyo ba na 10 beses na nag-welcome mga kawani ng Philippine Sports Commission ng kanilang chairman? Sa nakaraang 31 taon, na nanidilbihan sa bansa ang ahensyang ito, 6 na presidente ng Pilipinas ang nagtalaga ng bagong chairman ng Philippine Sports Commission magmula kay President Cory Aquino hanggang sa kasalukuyan. Alam niyo ba na ang may pinakamahabang paninilbihan sa Philippine Sports Commission na higit na siyam na taon na ay walang iba kundi ang ating kasalukuyang chairman na si Ginoong Chairman William I. Ramirez. Nanilbihan siya ng 2 terms noong panahon ni President Gloria Arroyo at ni kasalukuyang Presidente Rodrigo Roa Duterte. Kung si Chairman Ramirez ang may pinakamahabang paninilbihan sa Philippine Sports Commission, si Dr. Aparicio Meki naman, na pumalit kay Attorney Hetchanova, ang may pinakamaiksing taong paninilbihan. Alam niyo bang sa taong 1993 na nagkataong panahon ng 17th Southeast Asian Games ay nagpalitan ng Philippine Sports Commission chairmanship mula kay Dr. Meki at kay dating mayor ng Manila na si Emiliano Lopez. Sa SEA Games na to, naganap sa Singapore, 6 na kababaihan ang namayagpag at nag-uwi ng gold medal sa bansa. Sila ay si Judy Ann Malines ng judo, Leonor Estapador ng fencing, Akiko Thompson ng swimming, Marietta Tapangin Magno ng track and field, at Jennifer Howe ng wushu. Panahong ito rin, nagwagi ang women's volleyball team ng gold medal na hindi na naulit hanggang sa ngayon. Alam niyo ba na ang dating mayor ng Manila na si Emiliano Lopez ang pangatlong pinuno ng PSC at siya ay naging atleta ng swimming, boxing, at basketball? Sa panahon ng kanyang paninilbihan, namayagpag ang isang Elma Muros na tinaguri ang True Queen of Philippine Athletics dahil sa 3 medalyang gintong na iambag niya sa Pilipinas noong 1995 sa Southeast Asian Games na naganap sa Singapore. 5 ring kababaihan sa Taekwondo ang nag-uwi ng 5 medalya mula sa Asian Championship, gaya ni Nelia C. na nag-uwi ng silver. Alam niyo bang mula noong 1996 hanggang 1998, isang Philip Wico ang naging chairman ng PSC. Naging chairman siya ng Philippine Superliga, isang semi-pro women's volleyball league. Matunog ang 2 kababaihang atleta noong panahon niya. Isang batang-batang gymnast na si Pia Adele Reyes ang nag-uwi ng 3 ginto at 2 silver mula sa 1997 Southeast Asian Games. Si Elma Muros ay nagtuloy ang kanyang napakagandang pagwawagi sa heptathlon at long jump naman. Si Carlos Tuason naman ang pang-5 chairman ng Philippine Sports Commission. Panahon niya nung ginanap sa Bacolod ang 1999 Asian Football Confederation Women's Championship na kung saan napuno ng sukdulan ang Panaad Station sa Bacolod. Alam niyo rin bang sumunod sa kanya ay ang dating swimming champion at Olympian na si Eric Buhain na naging chairman din ng Games and Amusement Board? Isang hari ang naman na dating congressman ang naging chairman sa taong 2009 hanggang 2010. At si Ricardo Garcia naman na isang golfer ang isang pangsyam na namuno ng Philippine Sports Commission noong 2010 hanggang 2016. Ang pagkapanalo ng kasalukuyang presidente na si Rodrigo Roa Duterte na appoint muli bilang chairman ng Philippine Sports Commission si Ginoong William I. Ramirez. Siya ay may pinakamahabang panahong paninilbihan na chairman sa Philippine Sports Commission at pinakamaraming milestones na nagawa sa sports sa bansang Pilipinas. 2 SEA Games naman na ginanap sa bansa ay nagkataong nangyari sa kapanahunan ni Chairman Ramirez. Hanggang dito na lamang ang ating K-Sports at abangan niyo po ang aming mga susunod na kabanata.
Thank you, Commissioner Kiram, for the insightful information. Last week, the Philippine Sports Commission family celebrated its 31st birthday. And mind you, the fun, recognitions, and the get-together all happened right on the online screen. Join me as we sneak peek on those personnel who stayed with the Philippine Sports Commission the longest. Congratulations to the Philippine Sports Commission workforce who have chosen to serve this nation through sports. Thank you for being here to take care of our athletes, to grow the number of athletic talents in the grassroots, and to promote sports as a tool to develop positive values and character. Again, thank you. The Philippine Sports Commission is always reminding us that it pays to be physically active and healthy, especially now that we are all at war with COVID-19. Meantime, we captured a few of the past and present Philippine Sports Commission workforce to share with us their joys and challenges of serving the Philippine Sports Commission and Philippine sports.
Ang challenges ngayon, because of the COVID-19 pandemic, nahihirapan kami sa mobility namin, yung transportation. Since walang transportation ngayon, kulang na kulang yung service namin and driver. So, right now, once a week lang ako nakakapasok. So, ang challenges din doon, since once a week ka lang nakakapasok, hindi mo nakikita yung actual flow ng transaction. So, pagdating mo doon, minsan marami nang nagpatong-patong na yung mga dapat mong gawin. Pero, na nakakaya naman namin with the help of my staff. Ang fulfillment ko, one of the biggest fulfillment sa PSC is traveling kasi nakaka-travel kami sa iba't ibang mga lugar. Actually, siguro yung mga lugar na malalayo na napuntahan ko na because of PSC dahil dyan sa grassroots program namin. Tapos nakita ko yung challenges na pag nakikita mo yung mga tao, yung mga atleta, o kung yung mga coach na for the first time nakita nila na, ay, ito pala ang PSC, may ganito palang program ang PSC. And for me, that is already fulfillment.
Very thankful ako sa PSC sapagkat maraming naitulong sa akin ng PSC sa pagpapalago ng sarili ko, ng self-confidence ko and experience, and yon pagpapalago sa in terms sa kabuhayan ng family, ng pag-aral yung mga anak ko. I have 5 children, went to college, and yun, nagkaroon din naman sila ng magandang buhay. Maraming challenges sa PSC, lalo na sa pag-handle ng mga atleta at ang mga coaches, iba-ibang characters, iba-ibang mga pananaw sa buhay, pati mga NSA officials. Pero I'm happy to tell you naman na wala naman akong naging major problem sa relasyon ko sa mga atleta at coaches at sa mga NSA officials. Same with my peers sa Philippine Sports Commission. So, in general, I could say I'm very happy and thankful sa Philippine Sports Commission for keeping me as one of their employees and still going strong sa PSC.
The challenges that I've faced since I started working with PSC is that on how to impart initially the right knowledge and practices to our athletes and even to our coaches regarding in terms of proper nutrition, which is very important since, of course, an athlete needs proper nutrition in order for him to or her to properly train or compete well. So, and micronutrients to help them boost their immune system, especially now that we are facing the pandemic. And my fulfillment is that I get to enjoy, especially when athletes go back to me and they will tell me, Ma'am, na-achieve ko yung proper weight natin na target natin or kung ano iniinom niya like water or sports drinks and among others.
The challenge in working with the PSC, a small agency, but with a big base of clientele and people interested in it, is the number of tasks that you need to do. The projects sometimes overlap, but it is also the point of fulfillment, I think, of working here because it challenges you to be better, to be more persevering, to be more dedicated. It asks for your inner strength most of the times, and I think it adds to the overall growth of people here as individuals and as a team.
There are many memories. It's friendship and working bonded together. It has made us achieve more challenges at saka yung mga ups and downs, they are being overcome because there are friends working with you. Maraming challenges. You know, maraming taong magagaling sa PSC. We have different ideas. We have different goals and objectives. But it is all because we want to excel dun sa trabaho namin. We want to prove ourselves. So masasabi ko na ang Philippine Sports Commission for me is a roadmap, a very, very challenging road for a career growth. Every time I achieve, I always give thanks na pinanday ako ng Philippine Sports Commission. So, sa mga naging boss ko sa Philippine Sports Commission, sa mga naging mentors ko sa Philippine Sports Commission, I was grateful. And also, I am happy that I met them in the Philippine Sports Commission, wherein my career continues to nourish because of those friends in the Philippine Sports Commission.
I remember a time when I came to work with an organization that has no formal structure and everything was operating in an ad lib basis. Having only the PSC Charter, which is Republic Act creating the Philippine Sports Commission as our guide, we struggled to develop an organization structure that would enable the agency to fulfill its mission and attain its objectives as developing a comprehensive sports program for the nation. Together with our proposed staffing pattern and budget, it was approved all right, but was not exactly how we were hoped for. The rest is history, as the cliche says. The fondest recollections, however, were about the wonderful people I met in this brief sojourn, some of which became my best friends for life, I hope. We scored a lot of firsts, so to speak, and we did our country proud. We dreamt, we worked, we struggled through difficult times, yet we not only survived, but we thrived. My wish for the Commission is for it to really become the vehicle by which we can reclaim our sports supremacy in Asia in the field of sports and sportsmanship, which was ours not too long ago. We can still do it. Godspeed.
Mas maraming magandang memories working at PSC. And I have to say that I am honored to work with Malu, Rachel, Queenie, who else? With Commissioner Agustin, the rest of the gang at the Plans and Programs Division under Mr. Cesar Pradas. And during those days, I felt like I grew up overnight with my career kasi I work with these great people and I learned so much from them. And another thing that I really enjoyed the most was traveling around the country during those days, and memorable experiences, working with people from all walks of life, from the former presidents of the Philippines down to the very humble and hardworking taxi drivers, something like that. I also got an opportunity to work with the notable athletes like Lydia De Vega. We were roommates in Bacolod. Kiko Thompson during the Olympics Solidarity Program of PSC, and who else? And of course, with Chairman Eric Buhain. I learned so much from them, how sports made a huge impact in their lives. So thanks very much for those memories. And happy anniversary, PSC. And this is for you. Happy birthday. Cheers.
Thank you, ladies. While we tried our best to locate and hatch our former PSC chairman, our search succeeded with only one former chairman. And here he is. As he tested his memory lane on PSC women workforce, he also shared some unforgettable moments during his term. While we had a long, interesting talk with this chairman, we have to share to you some of these. Let's all watch this.
I had the privilege of working with several outstanding women at the Philippine Sports Commission. Among them were, of course, Malu and Tancho. The other women there, well, aside from Commissioner Josie Bausong, we had Tony Dol Llanto. She was just starting there. She was then very young. That was 1995. So that's 25 years ago. And then we had Lisa and Alona. They were the first ones I met there when I came to the office for the first time to be part of a ceremonial turnover of the flag of the PSC from Mayor Lopez. And of course, along the way, I met Auditor Echano, who was very understanding, although strict. And then there was Queenie Evangelista, Rachel, I forgot her maiden name, but it's now Dumok, no? And Merly, of course, Merly Ibay, who is now up in the echelon. Of course, Carmencita Velasco. Well, during my time, we took the trouble of preparing, doing the strategic planning session, which I think is being continued now. The other memorable thing was in Jakarta, in Chiang Mai, my first SEA Games as chairman. I predicted the gold medal output of the Philippines exactly down to the last gold medal. When some athletes could not make it because of lack of funding from the government, but they were very close to the standard, I approached some people for what is called self-funding. I asked Motolite, for example, to assist in providing funds, in getting some weightlifters to join the Philippine contingent. I would suggest that PSC encourage the sports community to look at other aspects of sports in line with the development agenda of the United Nations, Sustainable Development Goals. That used to be called Medium-Term Development Goals. Now it's called the SDGs. We should align ourselves with that. Our international federation, the World Athletics, is aligned with that. Especially now, because of climate change, we must put a lot of emphasis on the environment and adjusting to it. Because it affects competitions. It's getting hotter. We have more weather disturbances, and we have to adjust to that. Again, congratulate Chairman William Butch Ramirez and the commissioners for your being here to assist the athletes and the other men and women who are helping the commission. God bless. Thank you, everyone, and we shall continue to work for the development of Philippine sports. Thank you, and God bless.
Not at your best? You may be dehydrated. You need Pocari Sweat. It replaces the electrolytes you've lost and helps you perform at your best. Be at your best with Pocari Sweat. Pocari Sweat.
It's now time for our Lesson 101 on organizational culture from a former planning officer for 9 years of the Bases Conversion and Development Authority, but had been based in Canada for almost 2 decades as an advisor of the government office in Alberta, Canada. Welcome, Ms. Manu Aspiras Castro.
Good day, everyone. Today, I am going to talk about organizational change and what we need to focus on in the midst of change and become a sought-after organization by virtue of its great culture. My discussion will be as follows. I will give a brief introduction and will attempt to define organizational culture via description. Then, I will discuss 4 different types of organizational culture based on identified classification factors. It will be followed by an example of a type of a culture and my personal experiences of navigating the changes in the culture. Lastly, I will be discussing 5 elements of a great organizational culture that we need to keep in mind as we build and establish a great culture in the midst of change. Before I proceed, I would like to greet the Philippine Sports Commission on its 30th year anniversary. 3 decades of existence speaks to the resilience of the organization and the people behind it. For PSC to exist for 3 decades, there must be something very special about the people and the culture that has shaped this organization. As you continue to evolve, let us learn more of how we can enhance our organizational culture to become the best it can be. So, what is organizational culture? Organizational culture has two facets. First, the structure. Second, the people. Structure refers to the organizational chart, the systems, the roles, policies, processes, and some unwritten rules and norms, among others. People, on the other hand, refers to the leadership, the management, the identity, values, beliefs, and behavior of the people. It is, in fact, the holistic personality of an organization. In effect, organizational culture is the collection of values, expectations, practices that guide and inform the actions of all team members. There are 4 types of organizational cultures that have been identified by experts, namely community, characterized by extended family, mentoring, nurturing, and participation. And this is example of this are foundations, NGOs, family businesses, religious organizations, and the like. Bureaucratic is an structure that has a rigid structure. It has controls in place. It thrives on coordination. It has efficiency and stability. An example of this type is the government offices and the monarchy, among others. For entrepreneurial, the organizational culture entrepreneurial is dynamic. It likes taking risks and values innovation. For example, the startups, the big corporations, and the explorations. These are the ones that think outside the box. And the next one, and the last one, but not the least, is a competitive organizational culture. This culture is results-oriented. It gets the job done. It values competition and achievement. Examples of this are government corporations, technological companies, auto companies, and the like. And these 4 organizational cultures are classified according to 4 factors. First, flexibility and discretion. Second, stability and control. Third, internal focus and integration. And the 4th is external focus and differentiation. So based on these 4 factors, the experts came up with these 4 types of organizational culture. But know that there is no good or bad organizational culture. Each of them have their own merits and weaknesses. For one, community looks as if it is very good. But when we get too close to each member, the members became complacent, and it impacts the efficiency and effectiveness of the organization. An example of a competitive organization is Basis Conversion Development Authority. That is where I used to work. So my experience with BCDA is that it is a competitive organization. Being a government corporation reporting directly to the office of the president, it is very results-oriented. It endeavors to get the work done and encourages competition among staff. If needed, the employees will render overtime hours to finish a task, but without the benefit of overtime pay. It is a fast-paced workplace, and there's no room for mistakes, such that the bosses, the managers, are so toxic. They become very rude, they become unreasonable. In a competitive culture, sometimes the employees, to get ahead of one another, they tend to hoard or withhold vital information that they think can get one ahead of them. So that's one of the weaknesses of a competitive organizational culture. So change, though, is the only constant. When we moved to Canada, my personal experience, oh my God, it was a total culture shock for me. So in Canada, before you get a job, they require that you have a Canadian experience, not necessarily a job in the field that you used to work for, but just any kind of job so you have a feel of what the Canadian culture is. So the shock came to me when I started working. These are the things that shocked me in their culture. First, managers, leaders, even the minister and the premier are not comfortable being called sir or boss. They want to be called by their first names. And even these leaders, managers, ministers are not afforded special treatment outside of their offices. They line up to buy their food. They line up to get in the elevators. That was such a big shock to me because I'm so used to the bosses in BCBA being, like queens and kings being served. The third is that the so-called bosses are even the first ones to greet you when they see you or they meet you. They pride themselves in knowing their staff by their first names among 3,000 or so employees. So it's a good feeling to be called your first name by your minister when you meet him. So number 4, when a staff is unable to finish their task that is due, the manager is accountable to finish it. Next thing is, even in the workplace, your priority is your family and your health. If you are scheduled to deliver a presentation or attend an important meeting, if a family or health issue arises, the staff can just leave and someone else will pick up what is left. And on due dates of assigned tasks, managers will have to consider staff availability and they have to approve vacation requests regardless. And there is no micromanaging. And there's also transparency and open communication between managers and staff. But it is done with consent. Like whatever issue you have, you are able to tell it to your manager, be it personal, be it emotional, whatever. But it has to be consensual. Information sharing is high on the list because we only have one drive to save all our works once they are done. So the sharing thing is enabled because everyone can just take work that's done by another in case they have issues to attend to. They are also very good in a sense that they encourage everyone to take a break and seek advice when needed. The values that we adhere to are respect, accountability, integrity, and excellence. This is adhered to by everyone. My list can go on, like it's so long. So I had that chance of being able to compare the organizational culture of my company in the Philippines and in Canada. These days, though, I believe we are living through one of the best times in history of work. Thanks to the advancement of technology and instant access to information, our generation has a greater sense of empathy, ethics, and values. And organizational cultures are changing. In the past, job seekers would be looking for a place that would pay them well and give them good benefits. Now, job seekers are looking for organizations that have great cultures. Companies that needs to offer individuals a sense of belonging and a mission to accomplish something remarkable. With no culture, an organization is not sustainable in the 21st century. And with that, I have identified 5 elements that are essential to building and sustaining a great organizational culture. These elements are purpose, ownership, community, effective communication, and good leadership. Purpose is that people, we have a greater sense of ethics and empathy. We are less selfish, and we want to be part of solving a problem greater than ourselves. We need to understand the why of what we do. So companies now need to have a strong mission statement where they can share the why with their team. Next element is ownership. Ownership is about giving people the opportunity to be accountable for the results without being micromanaged, giving people the autonomy over their time to accomplish their goals. This will keep people engaged with a sense of purpose. Community is the third element, and it is a sense of belonging to a group of people that shares the same or similar principles, goals, and values. Community is a place where there is camaraderie. Building community is something as simple as having lunch and learns, hanging out on Fridays, and company trips. It varies from company to company though, but community is unique to each organization. The next one is effective communication. This element, effective communication, sounds like common sense, but it is not common practice. It means consistency in processes and investing time learning the personalities and communication dynamics of the team members, getting to know each other. And the fifth thing, which is the more important of the five, is, I would say, the backbone of cultural dynamics of any organization is good leadership. The leader has to be constantly pushing the mission, the standards, and the processes of the company. Without effective leadership, the other 4 elements cannot thrive. People want leadership with integrity and compassion. People want authenticity. People want a leader who is clear on expectations. People want to know they have a leader who cares about them. The elements I just mentioned are not new to people. People have always liked purpose, ownership, community, effective communication, and good leadership. It is in our human nature. But now we found words to describe these things to build high-performing cultures. I would like to encourage each and every one of you to be intentional about applying these elements and building great cultures in your organization. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam, for refreshing us on the value of having a good organizational culture. As we wrap up today's episode, let's listen to a discussion and guided meditation on igniting feminine energy. With us today is Ms. Sarah Salcedo Rubin. Ms. Rubin is Reiki Master, teacher, acupuncture, detox specialist, yoga teacher, wife, and mother. She is the first and only Seraphim Blueprint teacher in the Philippines. Let's welcome Sarah Salcedo Rubin.
Welcome to a time of self-care and a time of mindful breathing. So the next few moments, I invite you to make this about yourself and set aside anything else that might be getting in the way of self-care, let the next maybe 5, 10, or 15 minutes be a time for you. So what we're going to do in the next few moments is just breathe together. Join me in a theme of caring for your body by listening to it. This process is called mindfulness, meditation, or just simply mindful breathing. So what we're going to do is we're going to come into your most comfortable position, and then we're just going to do a few seated stretches first. Roll the shoulders forward, upward, and back 2 or 3 times. And let this release and ease any tension from your shoulders, from your neck, releasing completely. Go ahead and do anything else. Maybe sway your head side to side, maybe up and down. And from here, sit with a long spine, sitting tall, and gently close your eyes. Your hands can be anywhere, palms down, maybe palms up. Take a few deep and cleansing breaths, breathing in deeply and breathing out completely. Breathing in deeply and breathing out completely. Now begin to scan your body. Scan from the head all the way down to the feet. Check for any areas of tension and release accordingly. Start from the top of your head. And if it resonates with you, try connecting with each and every hair strand. Breathing in deeply. And as you exhale, imagine every hair strand receiving relaxation. Notice how that feels. Go ahead and proceed to care for yourself this way. Scan your forehead. Deep and cleansing breath in. And exhale, relax your forehead. Soften your temples. Let your eyes roll back to its socket. And notice how that feels. When you are tense or tight or busy in your mind, your forehead begins to furrow and your eyes tend to tense up. So try that. Let your eyes relax. Let the eyeballs roll back into their sockets. Deep breath in. And exhale, relax your cheeks and your jaws. Let your teeth part slightly, but keep your lips together. Soften your neck, relax your throat, and then give particular attention to your shoulders. Can you release the shoulders away from the ears? As if you are setting aside anything else that you might still be carrying. Go ahead and relax. And the more that you do so, the more that you can return to your activities with a sense of completeness, a sense of fullness. Bring that into your breath now. Inhale. Feel yourself complete, whole, and ready. Ready to meet the future with an open heart. Focusing on your chest now. Notice how your chest and your upper back feel to you. Allow your heart to lift up just a little bit. Relaxing the shoulder blades, relaxing your upper back. Breathe into your arms. Relaxing your arms, your forearms. Maybe even imagine that the energy of relaxation, like a river of light, is flowing through your hands, your fingers, and your fingertips. And if that resonates with you, stay with that visualization of a river of light, healing light. Continue scanning your stomach area, relaxing this part of the body, softening your thighs, your knees, your calves, and your feet. And then visualize that river of light flowing through you. What is it that could be getting in the way of love and joy? And simply feel it. Breathe light into whatever you may be thinking or feeling. As you allow yourself to feel, as you allow yourself to become radically honest with yourself, you give yourself space to breathe. Deep and cleansing breath in. And exhale, I invite you to bring both hands into the center of your chest, one palm on top of the other. And here we return to our heart. Visualize the river of light, a ball of light at the center of your chest, your heart's energy center. This is the gateway to deep wishes fulfilled. This is the gateway, the doorway to harmony and loving relationships. I invite you to think about what you want to create in your life now. And then lift it up to the Divine Creator, trusting in perfect timing, trusting life to bring you what you need. Inhale here, and exhale, visualize this light, keeping on flowing through your body and around you, like a protective shell, reminding you of healthy boundaries and healthy choices for yourself. That you are complete, you are loved, and you are always, always supported. And you are always strong enough. Inhale here. And exhale. Release your hands down to your thighs, palms down. Take a breath. When you are ready, you can gently open your eyes. Welcome back, everyone. So I hope you were able to relax and breathe with me. And I invite you to get comfortable with that process, the process of scanning the body from the head all the way down to the feet. Listening to your body this way really roots out any early stages of resentment, any early triggers that can ruin your day. Why not take a pause when you're really busy or when you're really stressed? Take a pause and listen to your body. This way, you return to your inner center, that center that is always a wellspring of love, peace, and joy, and is untouchable by any stress. Okay, so we will end this time of self-care with a message from your angels. I have this deck with me. It's called Angel Guide, and every card is different. Every card has a message from your angels. So I'll shuffle this deck, and because there are no accidents, everything is on purpose, guided by God, the source of life, the whole universe. So I'll take one. And if there is a message for you, the message is listen deeply. Your angel, your guides, the spiritual teachers, the divine creator is behind you, taking care of you. And all you need to do is to place your hand on your heart and listen. Listen to the answers already there inside your heart. If you cannot find the answers, take a breath. Pause deeply, pause, and it will come to you. Maybe in an hour, maybe after a few days, but when you let your mind get quiet, when you let any disturbances settle down, the mind becomes clear as day, your heart becomes open and ready to receive, and you will receive what you need. So I hope that helped. Thank you, everyone. Namaste.
Time is up for this week's Rise Up, Shape Up episode. Thank you for everyone for your support. Rise Up, Shape Up is brought to you by the Philippine Sports Commission, Women in Sports. We would like to thank our partner, Capcorp, and our event sponsor, Pocari Sweat. We'd also like to acknowledge the PSC Board of Commissioners, Chairman William I. Ramirez, Commissioners Arnold Agustin, Ramon Fernandez, Salia Piram, and Charles Raymond Maxey. See you next week for our Valentine's special, featuring the love and life story of athlete El Mamuros and coach Jojo Posadas. Don't forget to follow us on our social media channels. Again, this is your host, Chinky. Have a marvelous day, everyone.
Rise up and